Hi guys. Getting fuzzies in my face. Well, how's everyone doing? Hopefully good. There's some things I want to talk to you about, and these were triggered by some videos that I had seen online. And God knows I could write a book. Yeah, I could write a book. So these are going to be my experiences with narcissistic / poisonous people. And I'm going to be looking down because there's some notes that I wrote. And these are red flags and like I said, things that I've been through that you see these red flags, run. Run for the hills, because these are warning signs and they don't get better than this. They always get worse. Okay? There are a few people who talked about narcissism on YouTube, and they were so thorough that it blew my mind. Wow, it just floored me. So one of the things that a person does to keep you constantly thrown is they're constantly being an ass so they can throw you off. Usually out of nowhere, inappropriate, smart-ass comments, being disagreeable about everything, arguing you about everything, even though you know it's right and they know it's right, they're going to argue you anyway just because. It's a control tactic. As long as I keep you constantly defending yourself and keep you thrown all the time where you don't know which angle I'm coming from, I keep you disarmed and it keeps me in control if I'm a crazy person / narcissist. Yes. One person in particular that I knew comes off like an expert. He knows everything. Everybody's an idiot except him. Really? Wow. Um, yeah, you're considered an idiot if you don't know the things that this person has memorized. He didn't know them either. He just memorized them. Okay? So he's basically a dunce. This one particular person. Actually, all of them are. All of them have serious issues and a lack of common sense. But he was an idiot to the extreme, and we'll talk about examples of that in a minute. He had his favorite topics, this one particular person. He memorized what he heard pertaining to the government. He memorized about guns. He knows, in fact, that's his nickname. My friend and I call him Guns because that's his nickname. He thinks he's an expert on every gun that was ever made. Nobody knows as much about guns as he does, which is a load of crap. But that's the razzle-dazzle / smokescreen that's constantly being tossed your way. Let me shove my topics. Let me shove my topics in your face constantly so that you don't see that I'm a total and complete imbecile. Okay? And like I said, we'll get to those examples in a minute. Memorized about the government, always talking about guns, obsession with guns. He thinks he knows everything about the government. Everything about the government. Now, I said this to him and I said it to another person who's supposed to be an expert on the government and what happens behind the scenes. I told both of them the same thing. I said, I'll tell you what. Why don't you get on a steel bird, meaning airplane? Why don't you get on a steel bird and fly to DC and tell people who are real politicians? Why don't you tell them how it is? Well, to that there was no response with either individual, because they don't want to make themselves look like a horse's ass in front of the person who actually does that for a living. So they know what they know that this fool doesn't know, but he memorized it. He heard it on the radio, therefore it's true. He saw it on TV, therefore it's true. He saw it on the internet, therefore it's true. You dumbass, you don't know anything. And let me give you a news flash, you redneck, hillbilly, ignorant imbecile. You barely know how to shuck corn. But anyway, we won't go there. Okay. You don't want to make an ass of yourself by talking to the pros. So what you'll do is you'll just constantly tell, mostly women, because it's like an intimidation factor. They're not going to pull that with men, because if men know more than them about that particular topic, he's going to make himself look like a dumbass, which he is. But anyway. So he's going to try to belittle women and belittle their knowledge, and you don't know as much as me, therefore you're not as smart as me. Well, here's a news flash, dumbass. Even the people who are involved with government, even people who are working in the White House, they don't know everything that's going on either. Because certain things require a top secret clearance. And let's just pretend Hillbilly had a top secret clearance, which he would never have one because he's not smart. But if he did, you will only be privy to the information that pertains to your job, your specific job. Even if you had top secret clearance, you're not going to know everything about everything. You're only going to know what pertains to your position, your job, your responsibilities. Okay, airhead? So, come on. And I've told him before, this individual, you don't know how to communicate with women, huh? Because women don't want to hear that all the time. Guns, 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 guns. Politics, government, politics, guns, politics, guns. We don't want to hear that bullshit all the time. But he don't know how to communicate, so all he does is regurgitate the same crap that he has memorized. He just regurgitates it as if what he heard is the law. Really? Woo! Oh, let's see. What else? No social skills. Doesn't have any common sense. Which, like I told you, he tried to hide that with his topics. Let's 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 talk about the free car situation. Mr. Genius, Mr. Intelligent, Mr. Everybody Stupid Except Me. This is what this fool does. And he does have an associate's degree in something, I don't know. He was supposed to go back to school. Will he? No. He also took one class in psychology, and now he thinks he's an expert on diagnosing people because he took one class. Right. Not so much, dumbbell. Anyway, here's the car situation. He knew a guy. The guy worked with him. And the guy fed him a bunch of bullshit that he fell for because he's so intellectually mind-blowing. Einstein ain't got nothing on him, honey. So this person told him, Guns had a car for sale. So he was trying to sell this car to this individual, and the guy said, well, I'm going to give you X amount of dollars when I get paid. Now, most people with some brains in their head know that if I'm selling you a car, I need to at least get a down payment, and I can't really give you the keys or anything like that until the car is paid off. But Einstein listened to the verbal agreement that the guy made with him, gave him the car, gave him the key to the car, and the guy took the car and was in the wind. But you're so smart, right, dummy? You're so smart. Okay, so he never saw a dime. Month after month after month, he was trying to contact the guy. Well, the guy never returned his call. I would not be surprised if he gave him the title too. I mean, he's just not, the elevator doesn't move at all, much less go to the top floor, but he's a genius on everything. He's so smart. Anyway, so he'd been calling the guy for month after month after month, and he sits there with a total blank look on his face, and he goes, he's not returning my call. I said, well, why would he? He got a free car. What is there to talk about? You gave me the keys, you gave me a car, you know, what do we need to discuss? Yeah, I said I'd give you money, but that was hocus pocus and you fell for it because you're smarter than everybody else. I guarantee you, to this day, he still hasn't gotten a dime from that guy. How much you want to bet? But he's so smart, he likes to beat you upside the head with this knowledge. So, let's see. There was other thing. Oh, another thing. Another thing Genius did. He got a car. He got a truck from a friend of his. Well, he was riding on his friend's license plates, and his friend was like, "Dude, you're gonna have to get your new, get the car put in your name and get your own tags." He's like, "I know. Well, he's real stingy with money. Okay. So he wasn't gonna get the tags unless he had no choice. Well, then it came to where he had no choice. The cop stopped him and said, yo, man, your tags are expired, dude. You got to get new tags. So he was forced to get them. This is what Einstein does. Because, remember, he's smarter than all of us combined. He's a genius. I'm going to beat you in the head with my knowledge because no one's as smart as I am. Right. He goes and gets the new tags, puts them on the car, on top of the old tags. He puts the new tags, let's see, on top of the old ones. So he got stopped by the cops again, and the cops were like, what's going on? Well, I got the new tags. Right. But you put them on top of the old tags, so we were a little confused. But this person is smarter than everybody. We all aspire to be that smart. No, we don't. People who are not all there too, you gotta watch them. You better watch them close, because watch how they treat their family. Watch how they treat the waiter at the restaurant or waitress. Look at the things that they whine and complain about. If they're complaining about things that other people have done to them, for example, the parents have done, that he's still pissed off about, You don't have any reason to be mad about that because you were doing the wrong thing. That's what you snuck out. You got drunk when you were a kid, which you're still a kid. You're an adult child. But anyway, you snuck out and got drunk and was acting simple, and then you came home and your father put some sparks on your ass. July 4th sparks on your ass. That's good for you because it'll teach you not to do that no more. But to this day, he will still complain about his parents did this and his parents did that. And his parents were just so mean. But he didn't do nothing wrong. Typical narc. I might have did something wrong, but that has nothing to do with anything. I resent the fact that I was penalized for what I did. Well, that's called life, dumbass. If you do the wrong thing, you're going to pay the price for it. Hello? Turn your light on. Let's see. What else? Okay. Also, watch how people live. Guns did this. Teletubby did this. Teletubby lives in South Dakota. He looks like he's probably, I don't know, been pregnant for 2 years. So I call him Teletubby. He purchased a house 7 years ago. He has never put furniture in it. It is in need of multiple repairs. It is falling apart. The house is literally falling apart. And when I said, well, why didn't you get contractors to work on your house? Why didn't you ever get anything done? And this was his response. Are you ready? This is another genius. Because when I called contractors, they never returned my call. For 7 years, no one returned your call? Right. And I remember saying, I find it hard to believe that in a very small town, somebody is making so much money hand over fist that they don't need to return your phone call. The point of it is, the real reality is he never made those phone calls. He likes to live like a hobo. He likes to live in an empty house with no furniture. He sleeps on a mattress. These are all coming out of his own mouth. A mattress on the floor in the living room with no sheets on it. He gets a kick out of living like a homeless person. That is the weirdest thing to me. I mean, Guns is the same way. He lives in a camper RV thing that's falling apart. It's from the 1980s. It is filthy all the time. Scuzzy, filthy, falling apart. But he's so proud of it. It's got holes in it. It's got, sometimes the refrigerator works, sometimes it doesn't. It has hot water in it. It's usually not, because he supposedly can't afford the propane. And his father had the audacity to say, because he's not smart either, he had the audacity to say, well, I think that was a good investment. Let's think about that statement. I've never purchased an RV. I've purchased vehicles, but I've never purchased an RV. Don't you think you need to see if it's a lemon before you sign on the dotted line? I don't know. It's just a thought. I mean, I know I'm just a dumb girl, but that's what I would think you would do. That you would take it to somebody, have them hook it up to the computer or whatever they need to do to find out what condition this vehicle is in before you sign on the dotted line. You don't sign for something that's falling apart. The floor is coming up, the refrigerator don't work half the damn time, it's filthy all the time, trash underneath the seat, infested with ants and everything else. And he is so excited to live like that. Be very careful of people. Watch how they live. Watch how they live, because that's what you're signing up for. That's exactly what you're signing up for. A hillbilly, uneducated, no common sense individual who likes to live in a garbage can. And they are the same identical people who tell you how wrong you are, how stupid you are, you don't know this, you don't know that. Excuse me, shut your damn mouth, because you live in a cardboard box. And even if a person does live in a cardboard box, it can be a clean box. Okay? It can be a clean box. They are the first persons to point fingers at everybody and tell them how wrong they are. Some of them are so messed up in their head that, not just narcissists, people who are mentally ill, period. Every person that they know, they say something negative about every person they know. Everybody's a loser. Everybody treats them bad. Everybody makes them to be a victim. Everybody picks on me, throws sticks at me, and calls me names. Right, that's a load of bull. What did you do to them? Oh, they're not trying to tell you that part. Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. We're not going there. We're not going to focus on me and how wrong I am. We're going to talk about how the whole world picks on me and I'm an innocent victim. And they can be real convincing with their lies, too. And they are all pathological liars. Every single one of them. Wow. Teletubby also, by the way, he's scouring the internet trying to find women who have furniture so he can entice you to move in with him so he can sit his fat ass on your couch, because he's not going to buy furniture. Okay? He enjoys living like a hobo, but if he can get free furniture from a woman who's like, I'm in love with you, let's move in, he'll be happier than a fat rat in a cheese factory. So women, watch yourself. Yeah. His last name is Ranch, by the way. He's in South Dakota. First initial is C as in Charles. Anyway, moving right along. Watch yourselves, girls. Watch yourselves. Back to the RV for a second with guns. The only way that would have been a good investment, and again, I'm a dumb girl, so I'm making this up as I go along. Anyway, the only reason that would be a good investment is if you purchase the vehicle, you actually weren't stingy with money, and you spent your money to flip it, which I know that's the term used for houses. You flip the house and make a profit off of it, right? Whatever the term is for a vehicle. You flip it, you make it almost like brand spanking new, and then you sell it and make a profit. That's a good investment. But buying a soda can on wheels, a beat up soda can that you got from a junkyard on wheels, and that's how you choose to live, how is that a good investment? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. There's a whole lot of things that, ladies, be very, very, very careful with men who have money, or men who have money, none of them have money, excuse me, men who have children, because a lot of them are looking for someone to babysit their children. They're looking to rent your uterus. Oh, yes. At the age of 50 plus, men want to start a family. I kid you not. I wish I was kidding. I am not kidding. I am serious as a heart attack. They want to start having a family at 50. If they cannot rent your uterus and stick a baby all up in and through there, they don't want nothing to do with you. They're not smart. First of all, I worked in the medical field, as you guys know. You should not be having family. Women should not be starting babies at the age of 50 plus. That's stupid. Okay? It's not intelligent. It increases all kinds of risks for the baby, all kinds of risks for the mother. If you don't believe me, contact an obstetrician. They will tell you. But women are going to sign up for that because they're like, hey, I get pregnant, no problem. I'll risk my life. I'll risk my baby's life. You know why? Because when you dump me, you're going to pay me child support. Between me and the state, we're going to lock you in, and you'll be paying me every dime that you make out of your paycheck. So yeah, baby, let's get naked. What the hell kind of world do we live in? Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, Teletubby lives out of his car too. He has so much junk in the trunk of his car. Um, he just loves the idea of being homeless. That's just really exciting for him, which is a clear indication that something's not right up here. Nobody wants to sign up for that. Nobody. Okay, correction. What am I talking about? Nobody normal wants to sign up for that. Nobody normal. Um, another thing. Excuse me. Another thing that Teletubby had done. He gaslighted his wife. If you know his ex-wife, if you know anything about those terminologies pertaining to narcissists, they will talk about, like I said, everybody like a dog. Okay, his ex-wife was spending money hand over fist. She spent money all the time. She wasn't paying bills. I didn't know we were in trouble for this, that, and the other, and da 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 da. She even got I forget what it's called, but it's when they go to the bank before you get paid, and it's an advance. She was even getting, according to him, which it wouldn't surprise me because he was dominating her with money. Is he going to tell you that part? No, no, ma'am, and no, sir. He's not going to tell you that part. Okay, but I'm smart, even though I'm a dumb girl. I'm smart sometimes. And I know that he was dominating her with money. So if she was getting an advance on his check, what do you expect? You guys were married at the time. She's raising two boys, not you, because you're too immature to raise children because you're the same age as them mentally. But she was raising those boys. So you want to dominate her with money and pick and choose what you want to give her, she'll fix your ass. And that's exactly what she did. So even though he says that, oh, she put us in $30,000+ debt, no, she did not. No, she didn't. You're a liar. And when I said to him, well, what did she spend all that money on? Well, taking the kids to McDonald's. Well, unless hamburgers are $25, $30 a pop, and she's taking them every day, I don't think that was just McDonald's. I think he's just full of crap, and I think he's lying his ass off. I tried to get in touch with her. What he don't know is I tried to get in touch with her, but I was not able to. I looked for her. She has an unusual name because her last name is Wrench also. Um, but I wasn't able to get in touch with her because I wanted to get the truth. I knew he was lying his ass off, and I wanted to get the truth from her. Because you can bet your bottom dollar what she tells, what she would have told me and what he says, two different things. Two different things. Lies, 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 and alibis. Okay. The reason I found out about him dominating with money is because he had purchased something, and when I mentioned something to him about that, he said, well, I paid for it. There's your sign. There's your sign. I didn't need a really huge red flag on that one. That was a sign in itself. You know, if I paid for it, therefore, I am king of the hill. And I'm going to tell you how to deal with that particular thing or what to do with it and how to use it. I'm going to dominate you with that. But when she takes your money, you got a problem with it. Well, guess what? Y'all were married, so that was both of y'all's money. Okay, genius? And if you want to control her, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, sweetheart. If you don't know, you better know. You better ask somebody. Like we used to say back in the day, you better ask somebody. Women are going to take but so much of your crap before she's like, really? You want to play, little boy? Let's play. And she's going to get you back. Yeah. He also worked at a bank with his ex-mother-in-law. And he talked about her like a dog. Citibank. He was working at Citibank in South Dakota. Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Oh, yes. Talked about her like a dog. She talks bad about me. She talks about, talks to our employees, not employees, but our coworkers, because he's too dumb to be, a manager of anything. Anyway, she talks about me like a dog, and when I walk by her, she always whispers to other people about me, and she's just the worst thing that ever existed. Well, if I had a daughter, and you screwed her over as much as you screwed over your ex-mother-in-law's daughter, I'd whisper around too. And actually, I wouldn't whisper. I'd say right in front of your face. And everybody would know that you're a monster. Everyone would know that you are a bad, bad person. This is what he did when he applied for a job with, oh, wait, let me not go to PetSmart yet. Wait, hold it. Woo! Wait right there. He's almost 50 years old. And his most exciting accomplishment is being a waiter in a restaurant back in the day. That is what he is the most proud of. Almost 50-something by now. But he is the biggest show-off, typical narcissist. Everybody look at me. Look at how cool I am. He will brag about being a waiter. He will brag about how his customers were just all over him. They thought he was wonderful. And when he was no longer working at that restaurant, he had the audacity to say, well, the company eventually fell flat. They went out of business. I'm not saying they went out of business because I was no longer there, but it happened when I was no longer there. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Narcissistic personality person. You are absolutely right. They could not make it without you. They folded like a house of cards. Oh, please. Okay, so he applied for a job at PetSmart. This is what he had the audacity to tell them because he's dumber than a container of Play-Doh. He told them on the job interview, I can't even. Give me a second, I need to breathe. Oh, God, I'm tired. Okay. He told them on the interview, I'm going to be loyal to you. I'm not going to go to school. I'm not going to increase my education. I'm going to be loyal only to you. That is the dumbest thing I have ever heard in my life. Somebody saying on a job interview. Now, I'm sure, employers could tell me some stories about, oh, no, baby, that's nothing compared to what I've been told, I've been told when I asked the future employee, where do you see yourself in 5 years? They would say things like, I see myself sitting in your chair, which is pretty arrogant, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to get you hired, okay? I was like, stunned that he said that. And then I said, Why the hell would you tell somebody something like that? Well, because I'm going to be dedicated to it. I was trying to educate him, which is beyond. You cannot educate somebody who's almost 50 years old who doesn't have any common sense. You cannot. Something is wrong in here. Their brain is broken. You know, cocky, arrogant, narcissistic, a victim, a perpetual victim. I mean, so his brain doesn't work like a normal brain should. I'm sure you all figured that out by now. I said, you don't ever tell a company that you're not going to better yourself, because they're going to think, well, this guy's a real idiot. He'll do anything we say. We've got him wrapped around our pinky. We got you exactly where we want you. You're going to be our bitch. That's what a company's going to think, because you're too dumb to realize that unless that's your ultimate goal in life, to be a pet smart whatever for the rest of your life, unless that's your ultimate goal, most people will work a job like that. Not saying there's anything wrong with this. Some people love animals, and if that's your niche, then by all means, go for it. But most people will work a job while they're going to school so they can better themselves, or they're going to school so they can get a promotion on the job. That's their dream job or whatever. This fool gonna tell somebody, oh, I'm gonna be dedicated only to you. Woo! Wow. 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 I, I have no words. I have no words. Anyway, whew, another thing that y'all need to realize, and this is real serious, when somebody is a narc or otherwise mentally disturbed, they expect to have their way. When you do not obey them, when you do not comply with their wishes, it can easily resort to verbal and physical abuse. I want you to get out of that situation immediately. Call 911 and get out of there as fast as you possibly can. It doesn't get any better after that. It gets worse and worse and worse and worse because you're not obeying them. I've through the years, and in the past, I have dealt with a lot of psychologically disturbed people. If you watch my other vid, the one that's called When Your Friend Hates You, Your Friend Hates You, I go in specific detail about what this person did and the psychological spin-off that they did and how deep it went and how brutal they became and how vicious they became because they were trying to manipulate other people and it wasn't working. She was another one who said that everyone's a monster, everybody picks on me, I'm the innocent victim, I'm always caught in the crossfire, blah, 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 and she's a total incomplete monster slash master manipulator, and she thinks that, everybody's dumb and they can't see past her BS. I call it razzle dazzle. I'm going to throw smoke at you, and tell you how terrible you are and how much of a loser you are. And I'm just going to keep attacking so that you don't see that I'm an idiot and that I'm manipulating people and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. In my head, my brain is going, I don't want you to see that. Anyway, verbal and physical abuse. Get out. Get out. Do not put up with it. Do not put up with it. And the vicious cycle of abuse goes in a circle. Always a vicious circle. And I went through this with my ex-friend, so-called friend, who was a lying-ass bitch. But anyway, psychotic lying-ass bitch. Anyway, there's a circle. There's a vicious circle. There's the honeymoon phase, and everything is wonderful, and you guys are having special moments together, and everything is great. And then slowly but surely, things begin to change. Nasty little comments, sarcasm, avoiding you. If you're romantically involved, verbal abuse, physical violence, which is always preceded by, baby, I'm so sorry, I love you so much, I don't know, I'm going through so much stress at work, I'm going through stress with my parents, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, I'm so sorry, here's some chocolates, here's the bracelet you've always wanted. Get out. Get out. Call 911. And let me tell you something. I know you don't want your family to know what's going on. I know you don't want your friends to know what's going on because you don't want to be embarrassed, and you don't want them saying, well, I don't know why you were in that situation in the first place. That person, I never liked that person from jump. But you're going to have to swallow your pride, and you're going to have to open your mouth, and you're going to have to tell everybody with ears, what you're going through. Everybody, your family, your friends, your coworkers, you tell them all. Because God forbid something happened to you, law enforcement's going straight for that person. That's right. You open your mouth and you tell everybody, and you get away from that person. Now, if you want to go to counseling, you can try to go to counseling with them. The only problem is, especially with narcissists, they feel that they're insecure. They're deeply insecure in here. They feel empty in here. That's the reason they need to tell you how horrible you are. You're a dumb fat ass. You ain't never did nothing right. And if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be with nobody, because nobody's going to put up with you like I do. They have to belittle and demean and degrade other people to get a temporary high. It never lasts long. It's just a temporary high. But it makes them feel better about themselves temporarily until they attack someone else again. And you are a failure, and you're a loser, you've never done anything right, and on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And a lot of it is jealousy, because they see a spark inside you that they've never had inside their dark soul, where the hole where their soul should be. They've never had that glow that you have. They've never had that spark that you have. They've never had joy, regardless of the mountains that they've had to deal with in their past. How come you have been through horrible things in your life and you still have the ability to laugh? You still have the ability to smile. Who do you think you are? They're mad about that. They're jealous of that. They're envious of that. And they want to steal that from you. They are armed robbers. They are armed robbers who steal your soul. Get away, get away, get away. And if you ever want to know if a friendship or if a relationship is good for you or not, look at how you feel when you're with them. And I don't mean for the first few months, because anybody can put on a real pretty costume and pretend to be a nice person. They're the biggest liars and the biggest actors out there. I'm perfect. I am almost like Mother Teresa or the Pope. And they're lying their ass up and they're pretending. It's a facade. It's razzle-dazzle. It's all a bunch of bullshit. It's a smokescreen. So you give it a couple of months, maybe 3 months, maybe less. People will reveal themselves like that. You know why? Because the minute they think your wall is down, your defenses are down, or they think you love them, watch out. Watch out. It's all like buttered popcorn. And that's when you can kick their dumb ass to the curb. And like I said, if it gets verbally abusive, get physically abusive, you call 911 and you get the hell out of there as fast as you can. You tell the cops, you get a restraining order, you do everything you can because it's not going to get better. And there are people who are 6 feet under who never thought it would get to the point of murder. They never thought it would get that far. Don't be a statistic. Do not become another statistic. And if you're dealing with poisonous people, get away from them. Get away from them. It's not worth it. Life is too short to get sucked into someone's dark world and dark universe because they hate anyone who has joy because they've never had joy. And they're too stupid to go get some professional counseling and to get some medication. And when you're severely damaged, baby, a pill's not going to get it by itself. You need counseling. You need both. And in some cases, you don't need outpatient. You need inpatient. You need to be a patient in-house so they can keep an eye on you every day and they can give you hardcore counseling all the time and give you medication all the time. And in some extreme cases where a person has never been right and they're getting worse, they need to be in a psych ward for the rest of their lives because they ruin everyone who comes into their path. They try to destroy everybody. So, be careful. Keep a close eye on people. Watch how they react to things. And I saw someone else mention this in a video, and it's so crucial. Narcissists, or mentally ill people, but especially narcissists, they don't know how to react. They don't have any emotions. So they don't know. They have emotions when it comes to themselves, but not when it comes to anyone else. They're empty inside. So they don't know. They mimic what people do. They mimic what people say. They mimic body language. They are the ultimate copiers. They will copycat everyone and everything because they don't know how to react. So, for example, if they witness their aunt, for example, on the phone with her best friend, and she just found out her best friend's mom got killed in a car accident, she's going to, he or she is going to imitate everything that the aunt does. Oh my God, are you serious? Oh my God. Oh my God. And your tone, your body language, your facial expression, they suck it all in and they memorize it so that if they run across someone who's had a loss, they know exactly what to do and exactly what to say because they've rehearsed it or they've seen it and they're going to practice it. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I wish to God parents would recognize abnormalities in their children when their children are young so that they can get professional help at a young age so we can hopefully try to reduce the amount of sick adults that are in the world. And they seem to be everywhere. Everywhere you look. The crucial years for a child's development, for their psychological development, is between the ages of 5 and 6. Those years are critical for their emotional and psychological well-being. So, even if you as a parent have grown up in a poisonous environment, you can be the one to put a stop to it so your child does not grow up into a twisted adult and cause havoc on everyone they meet. Because we don't deserve that. Those of us who don't get off on mental illness, we don't deserve to be treated that way. So between the ages of 5 and 6, those are critical years for their psychological development. And if you're with someone who's abusive and you're raising a child with them, get rid of that person and get counseling for yourself and get counseling for your child to try to undo the damage before it spins out of control. Because it will spin out of control and other people will be punished who had nothing to do with it. And this problem is multi-tiered and can never be addressed completely in a video, right? There are generational curses where mental illness runs rampant in families. It runs rampant in my family. And I was determined to cut them loose. I'm done. I'm done. I'm not dealing with that. I don't deserve that. Now, you want to talk to me like you got some sense? We can talk. You want to be a mature adult? We can talk. You want to talk crazy? You can go talk to yourself. I'm not dealing with it. So, let's talk about, and I'm going to wrap this up. Let's talk about what a positive relationship or friendship, regardless, because you don't have to be romantically involved with someone to have them ruin your life or try to ruin your life. Let's talk about let's use relationship for an example, although this can apply to friendships as well. They're supposed to be mutual. Let me say that word again. Mutual love. Not arguing all the time, not fighting all the time, not psychological roller coaster where you don't know which end is up every time you deal with this person. You have no idea what you're dealing with today. No. No. Mutual love. Kindness. Communication without character assassination. Communication without character assassination. Honesty. Honesty. Compromise. The world don't revolve around you. The world does not revolve around me. Nobody owes you nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, learn to compromise. If someone has to have their way all the time, get rid of them. You're done, you're out of here, I'm done. I don't want to hear you. I'm done. Get rid of them. Anyway, affection. Affection. There's nothing wrong with touch. And I don't mean sex, which is everybody's good at that. Affection. When I dealt with sick patients in the hospital, or I dealt with someone who was dying, I would touch them. Whenever I was in a room, I made sure I touched them. I make sure they can feel me. Hearing is the last to go, but I also want you to feel that someone is here with you, that you are not going through this by yourself. So let's go over these one more time. Mutual love, kindness, communication without character assassination, honesty, compromise, and affection. That is what real love looks like. That's what healthy relationships look like. So, and even if you did not come from that kind of background, you can make the difference. I love you guys. Take care. And remember what I said. One more thing before I go, because I forget things. I don't remember his, I want to say it's called ASSOC Direct. He is a black guy, and he talks about narcissism on YouTube. He doesn't know I'm doing a collab right now, putting his name out there. I hope he doesn't mind. He is amazing. He is nothing short of amazing, and he knows so much about narcissism. He has dealt with it on a personal level, just like I have. He is amazing, and I think it's called ASSOC Direct or something along those lines. He's a black guy. Um, he got a little bit of a mustache and a low haircut, and it looks like he's in his car when he does his videos. He is smart as a whip. Listen to him. Listen to what he says. He's on the ball. So I'm doing a collab without his permission, but I don't think he's going to mind if he gets more viewers. You know what I'm saying? He's a smart man. So I love you guys. Take care. Life is too short to be miserable. Okay? I love you. Take care. Okay. Bye-bye.